Hello and welcome back to another helping of Mr H's Hot Pot. You join me today in Lancashire, where we're at Tockholes, or Tockholes as they say here, which is near Darwin. And I'm on the site of the ruins of Hollinshead Hall. And I'm stood in front of the well house here, which is the only structure that's still standing from what was once an impressive hall. Obviously this well house behind me has been redone up. You know, it's not as it stood, but we'll take a little look inside. We can't actually step inside, but we can look through the bars of the window, where there's a lion's head that feeds a stone trough, which would have fed water to the whole of this site at one time. So we'll take a quick little look inside, and then we'll go and look round the ruins. Now you can just make out the lion's features that are on it, and through the mouth the water would come through and feed these two stone troughs either side, and then it would have run down to the house. It's not actually running, we can just hear it dripping at the minute, but I should imagine that you know, when it was really fast flowing, the river, that would have been pelting out of there. There's no real way, it's all or nothing, isn't it, really, with these type of setups. You get loads of water or none at all. I mean, it's quite ornate, that. I mean, it's all green with moss and stuff, but I should imagine in its day it was quite impressive, that. We're now at the back of the well house, and this little pond that you can see here is like a big sinkhole. The water runs down from the hill there, goes into this, obviously filters through the ground, and then runs through that lion's mouth spout that you see inside. I mean, what they've done here, as you can see, I mean, this is the roof. This is the height of the roof of the well house. So they've sort of dug it into the side of a hill, which is quite clever, really, I must admit. You know, they sort of knew what they were doing. I would probably imagine this dates from the Victorian era. So we're going to have a look at the ruins now, shall we? And see if we can make out any of the rooms. Unfortunately, some vandals have tore the sign down, so I can't actually tell you what each room was. Anyway, we'll have a look. Now, we've noticed this just before we've left the well house, and I'm wondering if this at one time would have had the family crest in it. You know, the motif type of thing. It's well worn with age, it's only sandstone. It doesn't look like it's had any writing on it, but it may have had a plaque on it of some description at one time or another. Well, here we are at the information board. As you can see, it's been pretty wrecked by vandals. It's a shame, really. Why people do that, I don't know. You know, just spoil it for others. I think you can just make out here what that crest would have looked like, that coat of arms that I showed you earlier. It gives you a little idea. Right, we're actually in the ruins of Hollinshead Hall now, and a lot of this stone, after this place was demolished, went off to build houses in the nearby village of Belmont, apparently. It just simply fell into disrepair. You know, in the end, the family that had it was leasing it out, and they couldn't get anybody to rent it. The mill owner was the last one to own it, and eventually the Liverpool Water Corporation, that become North West Water, that's now United Utilities, bought all this area for water catchments and reservoirs. But although there's a lot of stones in here, they'll all be original. I don't think they're all in their original places. I can note here that there's like some parts of old stone sinks and slopstone type of thing. I don't think they're in their original position. Obviously they've come here and they've sort of made it look like a folly, which is quite impressive. So we'll have a look anyway. And quite a few rooms to this place. I think we're actually on the outside of the hall now, because judging from this looks like an old windowsill, and this looks like some of the original rendering on the outside of the wall. Plus, in front of me there, you can see some of the big cornerstone keystones of the building. So we're probably on a little path that led round the outside of the hall. As I say, it's very difficult to know, you know, which parts are original and which bits have been sort of rebuilt to make it look like a ruin. Well, we'll go and have a look over there, because it looks like there's a cellar over there. Yeah, as I suspected, this is a cellar. It's only a small cellar. Looks like there's been an entrance in there. And I've just come down a set of steps there. These, although it looks like a fireplace, I don't think they are. They're probably supports for what would have been the wooden floor above me. I should imagine this was probably a coal type of cellar. Judging from that, there's no reason why there should just be a little opening that leads straight down. But I don't know, I didn't live in them days. Now, surprisingly, there's still a lot of flagstones around that would have formed part of the floors inside, and probably pathways around the outside of this hall. I'm surprised they're still here and nobody's had them actually. But apparently there was a quarry nearby, so a lot of these stones have probably been quarried and then cut by hand, you know, for this hall. Apparently a lot of flagstones that are in nearby Darwin and Blackburn came from this quarry. I should imagine a lot of gravestones came from there as well, although they don't mention that. Now this one here looks to me like it's been cut with a grinder of some description. That's not been hand cut, that you can see the saw cut in it. So as I suspected, yes, there have been people in here, you know, doing a little bit of conservation work, which is nice to see. Now these gate posts were probably, at one time, the main driveway into this estate. I should imagine these are Victorian, because they had a sort of thing for Gothic type carvings on the stones. Now what is interesting is that on these, what they used to do, rather than just put a big long bolt straight through, they would actually chip little holes in and then put the keeper in and put lead around it. If ever you go on have a look around old churches where the walls are, you'll see these holes but where they've been cut off, and that's because during the Second World War they came and collected all the iron, apparently. But yeah, definitely dating from about the Victorian era, those posts. Anyway, we'll move on, shall we? The area I'm now stood in appears to be outbuildings, either stables or may have even been some quarters for servants. There's a stone trough here, in a bit of a state of disrepair. And as I say, it's quite hard to imagine what this building would have looked like and this area would have looked like with just from the ruins. There's plenty of gate posts around, still in good condition. There's also, however, my old favourite, pet 8 Coke cans and lager cans strewn about. Apparently this area is a nice place to come and picnic. But if you do come and picnic, take your bloody rubbish home with you. I'm in what appears to have been a barn, and there's a bit of cast iron box type thing here, whether it's part of a underground heating or fireplace or a feeder, I don't know. I mean, it would be great to come in here with a metal detector and you know, just see what's around, although I suppose I'd be doing damage if I was starting digging holes all over the place, and I'd probably get stopped. But it would be amazing just to see what's actually beneath our feet. Just giving you a panoramic view of the size of this estate. That's looking back towards the house there. And that's the stable area, or what I think are stables. I'm probably wrong, they've probably been outhouses for something else. Quite an impressive area, certainly on a sunny day like today. Well, we're about to leave Hollinshead Hall. Just a quick little look round. I'm sorry I've not been able to give you much history of the place. Unfortunately, as you can see, some buggers have destroyed the notice board there with all the information on it. Apparently the well house I showed you at the beginning of this film has a ghost story attached to it. Again, I'm sorry I don't really know the full story about it, but why not come and visit it yourself? Look it up on the internet and come out and have a look yourself. Anyway, we're going to head off back up that hill now, and until the next time, as always, bye bye for now. Come on, girls.